Hello strangers, what's up again? And in today's video, we're going to be going over the top 5 fun weapons in Left 4 Survival. Now, there's going to be a little bit of confusion because I'm probably going to be saying like this weapon's strong or this weapon's not really that strong. But basically what this video is going to be over is basically it's just going to talk about the weapons that are not necessarily too strong or even like that good. But more or less, they just are pretty fun to actually use because most of the time when you play this game, you'll sometimes just get bored and start looking around your inventory, just basically looking around for like weapons or something like that can basically hype up your game a little bit more, even if they're not that great. So that's basically what this video is going to be about. Top 5 weapons that are basically fun, but not necessarily the strongest or even are still pretty good. Who knows? At number 5 is going to be the hammer.
Oh my god!
Now, the hammer is basically a really strange place. I actually put this on here, and it's mostly because of its ability it actually has. And that ability is you basically, as soon as you press whatever button it is that basically activates the ability on whatever weapons, you basically lift up your hammer, throw it to the ground, or just immediately force it to the ground, and instantly any infected that are within like a 3-meter radius around you are basically going to get launched up into the air and fly a few meters into the air until they eventually fall back down with the stunned effect. This ability is really fun to use, not because like it launches them up in the air, which I'm pretty sure it is, but basically because how useful it actually is. So for an example, let's say you're on the construction site building. If literally there's infected, I don't know, they're just chilling on there, like for an example a hunter like around the corner, then you can't really shoot them unless you go around the corner, which you will actually get pounced on. You can literally just whip out your hammer and just stun them, make them go flying off the building, which is pretty funny, and also stun them, which will technically give you like a 7-second head start. Technically this ability is very useful but also very situational because most of the times you're not even going to be using it, or some of the time you're actually going to be using it. But the thing that sucks about this ability is that it has like a 30-second cooldown, I think, somewhere around there, and it takes so long just to be able to use it again, and by the time it's already finished you don't even need the ability. And when the cooldown is just running by, when there's like, I don't know, 20 seconds left on the ability, that's when you desperately need it. That's what mostly sucks about this ability or this weapon, is just the fact that the ability takes a long time, which basically means you have a weapon in your inventory that is only fun for like 3 seconds until eventually it just goes away and you have to wait for another minute. But still, it is a really fun weapon to use, especially for its ability.
Number 4.
Number 4 is the M1014. The M1014, even though I could have just said like all the shotguns like the Spaz or the M870 or even the double barrel, but there's something about this shotgun that just feels so much more different than all the other shotguns. Probably the angle and the position on the screen that this shotgun has, that just makes it feel like the player is packing a ton of firepower in each and every single shotgun pellet that it basically shoots out. This shotgun just feels like it just does a ton of damage per shot, even though it actually does, and it just feels like every single shot you hit, it literally hits every single pellet on the infected and literally decimates them into oblivion. There's just something about this shotgun that's just different than the Spaz or the double barrel or even the M870, that it just feels like it's just packing a ton of more firepower. And that's probably just because every single time you shoot it, the shotgun of course goes upwards, because obviously the force of the shotgun shot, whatever it is, makes it so that the shotgun obviously has a little bit of force when it of course of the impact. And that's probably because it's why. But realistically, this shotgun just feels so much fun every single time I pull it out from my regular setup. But I don't know what it is, just this shotgun just feels so much more entertaining than all the other shotguns like the Spaz, even though I haven't used it in like 2 months at this point.
Number 7.
Number 3 is the Gauss gun. Surprise, surprise. Now, I know there is a ton of people who hate its guts, and I can see why, because obviously of this gun's reputation and backstory of how it was the worst gun, because literally it was the most overpowered gun in the entire game. But then it just got downgraded to where nobody really uses it, and if you ever see anyone using it, you obviously know they're an easy kill. But this gun, you cannot deny, it is really cool looking. It's basically like some sort of like Call of Duty futuristic wonder weapon or something like that. but this weapon just feels so much more powerful than all the other weapons, even though it does like 40 to like 60 damage, 45 I believe at a body shot and like 64 at the headshot. It does a ton of damage. Accuracy is on point. It's just the fact that it does not really have that much ammo. But other than those facts or whatever about that gun, this gun just feels so much fun to actually shoot. The basically gun just like moving around and its position on the screen, it just feels like you have a really powerful weapon, and every single time you shoot it, you feel like you're actually killing a ton of infected, dealing dozens upon thousands upon damage, and it just feels like you actually don't even have like a weapon. It feels like you have like some sort of nuke or something like that. This gun just feels like something that if you really are just really bored, then just take it out, play with it a few times, and you'll just see, this gun is pretty decent to actually use, and it's actually pretty fun to actually use, especially its sound, its design, its basic, gun vibration every single time it shoots. It just looks like a weapon that's really just meant to have a little bit more better in its actual place than it has right in this current meta.
Number 6.
Number 2 is the flamethrower. Now, flamethrower is by far one of my favorite weapons in this entire game. Not because, it's obviously a flamethrower, but because it's just so easy to use. Like, you literally require no skill to actually use this. You don't need accuracy, you don't need timing, nothing. You just pull it out and just start spamming or even holding down the trigger button, and eventually every single thing that comes into contact with your fire effect, whatever it is, will literally just set ablaze and literally die within seconds. This gun is incredibly powerful, but what I really love about this weapon is just that obviously it requires no skill, and you literally can just relax while you're playing this game. You could just pull it out and have it and literally in your entire screen and just start killing infected literally left and right without even like relying too much on skill, apart from the fact of depending on whatever team you're fighting against, the infected team, if they're like experienced or not really, but whatever it is, it's just the fact that this gun requires no skill whatsoever, and it just feels so fun to actually use. Literally, it's a flamethrower that literally you just hold down the trigger and fire just starts coming out of its face or whatever, or barrel as you could say, and literally it just looks pretty cool with its animation, infected dying so satisfyingly, and just the fact that literally it's just so easy to use makes it such a fun weapon. Whenever I'm bored, I just pull it out and instantly my entertainment in this game just goes through the roof.
Number 1.
Check this out.
Finally, the most funnest gun in the entire game is the minigun. Now, I can tell a ton of people are already just disagreeing, saying no, the minigun is not good because of the slowness effect. Also, I forgot to say that for the Gauss gun, but who cares? Literally, I get it. This minigun is pretty good, I say, but that's mainly because obviously, literally, it's pretty easy to actually counter because all you have to do is just not be too close to them, to the player using it, and just obviously just try to dodge and weave realistically. This gun is not the greatest, but whenever I just see it in my inventory, I'm just saying, I should probably pull it out and just probably see how it is. And every single time, it does not disappoint me. Even though it's not the strongest, it's definitely the most fun weapon to actually use. Literally, the design of the weapon is already cool enough. The animation whenever you reload is cool enough. The firepower it actually shoots out is fun enough. Its fire rate is fun enough. And overall, the barrels basically rotating all the time whenever you're shooting it just looks so satisfyingly awesome. This gun is really fun to use, especially if you use it in like third person, so you can see the entire look of the minigun's bullets and animation as it's firing, as you're literally killing infected left and right without worrying at all at anything. Just makes it so much fun to actually use. I don't know what it is, but this gun is always a weapon that is basically like a, hey, if you're ever bored, use me, or as you could say, equip me, and literally you will never feel bored whenever you have me on. Although it has its drawbacks, this weapon is so much fun to use when you're basically demolishing infected left and right, and obviously when you get to see its full potential in your entire screen. Alright, that's all for this list. So yeah, I'll see you guys all in about 42 years, and have a great game.